Fallout 4 is a post-nuclear apocalyptic action role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It is the fifth major installment in the Fallout series and probably the most successful one. Despite its success, Fallout 4 is a game that is not free from criticism. The most common problems are the main story, some of the RPG mechanics missing in comparison to its predecessors Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the dialogue system, the voice protagonist, the lack of unique looking weapons, and some lore retcons. I'm not here to talk objectively about Fallout 4. Not here to say if it's good or bad. There are literally 2+ hours videos about it and I bet they'll be better than this one. Plus whatever I say may have already been said. As you may have read in the title of the video, I'm here to talk to you about why Fallout 4 is a therapeutic game for me. The main inspiration for this video was a very good video titled Depression in Video Games by the YouTuber Leonardo the Sidci. Apologies for butchering your name. In that video he goes a bit in depth about, well, depression in video games, portrayal of mental illness and other themes. There's a section where he mentions that Ghost Recon Wildlands was a game that helped him, and the video game Dark Souls helped his friend, Dark Souls being a game defined by its challenging difficulty. And I wanted to share my story with you about why Fallout 4 can be a therapeutic game, at least for me. This may inspire you to take a second look at some of your favorite games and think if they are therapeutic or help you in some way. And I highly encourage you to check out his video. It is listed in the description down below. So I wanted to start out by saying it gives me a sense of purpose. When playing Fallout 4, you're always fighting for something, whether it's survival, a new place to live, a dungeon to clear, components to upgrade your weapons and armor, or to build something at your settlement, finding your son, rescuing someone, doing the right thing, loot, the liberation of Nuka World, rebuilding the Commonwealth with the Minutemen, or maybe just looking for that particular unique outfit piece, that bottle of Nuka Cola Quantum, or simply a love dialogue with your in-game partner. Fallout 4 gives me purpose at all times, and each faction has a valid point, so it's not like there are clear bad and clear evil. You can choose who you're spending your time with, who you're fighting for. What are you fighting for? I compare Fallout 4 a bit with real life. Just hear me out. At the beginning of Fallout 4, the source survivor is at its lowest. He or she lost everything: spouse and kid, home, and their life. Essentially being forced into a new and hostile world. Doesn't matter who your character is. Your goal is to fight. Keep fighting. Achieve your personal goals. Meet people along the way and make decisions. Sometimes that's all there's left to do, to fight. Doesn't matter if you're at your lowest or at your highest, you fight. Small or big battle, you have to win it. Don't give up and persevere. It takes me back a bit, and if I would have given up on me, honestly I think I would just be dead. In my game world, I choose to rebuild the Commonwealth with the Minutemen, help securing settlements and restoring some of the government and peace and democracy to post-war Boston. Moving on from the tragic death of the sole survivor's spouse and son, destroying two of the most challenging enemies, the Brotherhood of Steel and the Institute, and liberating the Saints for the Railroad. Helping the Nicanos find her daughter, helping the slaves at Nuka World bring closure and justice to a lot of side stories including Jack Cabot's quest, giving a second chance to Phyllis in the Great Tourist Marina, so on and so forth. Allowing the sole survivor to have close friends like Nick Valentine, Kate, and Curie, being romantically involved with Piper. Fallout 4 gives you a world full of stories to interact with, full of people to interact with, all in hope for a better future if you so choose it, and it is up to you to do it. It's a game that it's always giving you purpose. For the next point, I want to talk about how it helps me with my depression and my gender dysphoria. Video games serve as a way of escape. It lets us focus on something else and have fun for a bit. Lets us forget about the real world. Overall, it helps with depression. It gives me purpose, like I said in the last point. It lets me interact with wonderful characters like Piper or Nick. It makes me feel important, like doing the right thing means something. Where you can actually help people, where you can help and work on a better future, where you can be whatever you want and nobody will care. We work for a simple goal and nothing else. Fallout 4 is a game that helps me with my depression because I can forget for a while and immerse myself in this post-apocalyptic open-world game filled with stories and things to do. Simply wandering the streets of Boston with my weapons ready for combat, managing my resources with my companions by my side, wondering what interesting or tragic story might have happened in this particular place, wondering what's beyond that road or building, and always having a place where I can retreat to, a home, a safe place. Immersion is important to me. The settlement system, while flawed, it's peaceful and wonderful. It allows you to turn a place into a home, and it's awesome. It is also a game that gives me control over the things and gives me the choice to do so. It is not easy, and it is not free. Like defeating the gunners at Quincy, or destroying the Pridwin, or defeating Kellogg, or resolving problems with conversations like in Far Harbor. But it gives you the choice to do something about it, to act. What you do means something, and in a life where I have little control over the things around me, it feels great to exist in the world of Fallout 4, despite how hostile the post-apocalypse is. So is the real world. Fallout makes me forget all of my problems at home for a bit, that my mental health is not very valid to some, and that I don't have much people to talk about it. That I'm expected to do my best, and that there are people like my mother that I simply cannot let down. I cannot afford that. I have to be strong, and I am forced to be strong. Makes me forget that university sucks and that every day I go there is hard. That I'm living with the hope that the future will be better, but who knows? I'm living with the hope that I can get a title and move to Canada or France or Sweden, living with the hope that things will get better, but it's just hope, nothing more than that. But also with the uncertainty that things will not get better. Last, Fallout 4 helps me with my gender dysphoria. Most of you are already aware of depression and how it works, but for those of you who don't know what gender dysphoria involves a conflict between a person's gender and the gender which he, she, or they identify. People with gender dysphoria may be very uncomfortable with their gender they were assigned at birth, sometimes described as being uncomfortable with their body or being uncomfortable with the expected roles of the assigned gender. Basically, you're not comfortable with the gender you were born and you desire to be someone else. You may be wondering, so how does it help? Well, the basic, it lets me play as a woman, the gender I desire to be, and that I hope I can be in the future. There are very meticulous things I can edit in my character like makeup and hair. Even the name and other body features help. Creating this persona that I simply cannot be, dress however I want within the context of the nuclear apocalypse, and just wandering the wastelands, traveling the roads and just seeing this character of mine walking feels good. Fantasizing about something I cannot be at the moment, something that deprives me of sleep, makes me hate myself, something that makes me cry at times, fantasizing about being a woman, the person I cannot be at the moment. And in this world that I love, filled with awesome lore and characters, I matter, and I can do something for the greater good, for myself, and wake up every day and do something that sometimes in real life is hard. There are other things that help me with this, such as cross-dressing, but I cannot do that often. And there are other unhealthier things that are part of my life, like self-mutilation, for example. The last one is also partially aided by Fallout. It makes me relax, helps me with a bit of anxiety and negative thoughts, and the overall need to practice self-harm. And I think with that I cover everything. Generally speaking, most of the ground at least. That's my story with Fallout 4 and why it is a therapeutic game for me. Fallout 4 isn't the only one. Other games like Night in the Woods, Stardew Valley, Life is Strange, Firewatch, and some others also help and are therapeutic. But I hope this video helped you to understand the emotional and psychological side of video games, or maybe it helped you reconsider which games are therapeutic for you. If you're struggling, please seek help. There are people who care about you. But most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Dad Fox, and thank you so much for hearing my story.
I know now that I shouldn't have listened to a so-called friend. The truth is my love. that she wanted you for her own. You don't really have
Sérieux, hein?
Get your damn head!
nor must you go on the facing.
I can't hear!
Yes, the stage is bare. But
Just relax, tech head.
because I'm coming to you, darling. And moving together.
Easy now. And
Your actions could result in injury.